Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice Radio. So today, we need to look at one more VMAX Pokemon. This is how Gigantamax Pokemon are making their way over to the Pokemon trading card game. We've already had a look at Snorlax VMAX, and we've already had a look at Lapras VMAX. So now it's time to have a little bit of a gander at Meowth VMAX. Now, of course, we had a look at Meowth V a while ago. It's been a couple of weeks since we saw Meowth V over in Japan, and I told you that it was extremely likely that we would be getting a second promo card, which was Meowth VMAX, and that it was going to be Gigantamax Meowth. Well, the good news is, ladies and gentlemen, all of this has now been well and truly confirmed. Now, as a side note here, there are promos over here. There is a special box coming out, which is coming out on January the 3rd, and will feature Meowth V, Meowth V Max, a jumbo card of Meowth V Max, and what looks like 6 booster packs, including Evolutions. The set that won't go away. Bearing in mind, right, Evolutions was the set before Sun and Moon, and a month after this comes out, we're going to be getting the first set of Sword and Shield. Evolutions will never die. Alrighty then. So Meowth V. Now, we have seen Meowth V, but let's have a quick reminder of it. It is a Pokemon that has 180 HP, which is on the lower end for Pokemon V. It's got a weakness to fighting, which there's quite a lot this week to fighting at the moment. Things like Pikachu and Zekrom, things like Megalopony and Jigglypuff, so it's not the best weakness ever to have. And it's got a retreat cost of 2, which is kind of awkward because U-turn board, escape board, etc. will not give you free retreat. So the basics we're not loving here, and it's a colourless Pokemon, and being a colourless Pokemon means you don't get any extra tricks. Boo! Now, the first attack, 1 colourless energy, 30 damage, draw a card I like, but I don't love. And the reason I don't love it is extremely simple. You give up 2 prizes. You give me a Pokemon that can do 30 damage while drawing a card and only gives up a single prize, and I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do this. But not on a 2-prize Pokemon. Now, for those of you paying attention, the Persimmon from Cosmic Eclipse doesn't quite do this, but it does do 20 damage and lets you draw 2 cards. And I would rather do 20 and draw 2 than 30 and draw 1. Especially bearing in mind that Meowth V isn't hitting anything for weakness, and it's not even doing enough damage to KO a Ditto Prism Star, so it's not exactly a powerhouse here. If you could use Island Challenge Amulet and turn this into an 80 HP single prize Pokemon that was just doing 30 damage while drawing cards for the first few turns of the game, I might be a little bit more enthused. Unfortunately, we are seeing a changing of the guard. Pokemon GX are out, Pokemon V are in, and Island Challenge Amulet works on Pokemon EX and GX. It does not work on Pokemon V. Hey ho. Second attack here, 3 colourless energy, 130 damage, is kind of like the definition of meh. And it's a colourless Pokemon, so you can use any energy acceleration you like, Welder, Arceus and Dialga and Palkia, Malamar, but it's just not good. Like 130 HP just isn't enough. We need more for free colourless energy on a Pokemon V. We need more than 130. And there's plenty of non-GXs that are going down here. Alolan Ninetales. Bearing in mind Alolan Ninetales has a wonderful ability that makes it immune to GXs. It does not make itself immune to Pokemon V. So again, there are going to be some things that don't work and it's bad, Island Challenge Amulet, and some things that don't work and it's good, like for instance, Alolan Ninetales. Hey ho. But the vast majority of non-GXs that are seeing play at the moment, you will get. Hooper, that sees a bit of play. He gone. Giratina, that sees a lot of play. He gone. You're going to be taking out most non-GXs. But you're not taking out EXs, you're not taking out GXs, you're not taking out V, Tag Teams, VMAX, any of that. It is somewhat underwhelming. But I said when we looked at Meowth V before, that really, we're not playing Meowth V for Meowth V, we're playing it for Meowth V Max. And Meowth VMAX is a lot better. 300 HP. Now, to be fair, 300 HP does seem quite high, but the only other ones we've seen are Lapras with 320 and Snorlax with 340. So in that context, 300 actually seems kind of underwhelming. I mean, this isn't any higher than Magikarp and Wailord, which is a tag team. And I know they both give up free prizes. Should mention at this stage that VMAX are free prize Pokemon that you evolve from Pokemon V. You can evolve them whenever you like, as long as they've been down for a turn, of course. Usual rules apply. And they give up free prizes. That's the hook. That's the mechanic. There's nothing else going on. Nothing you need to know in terms of new weird things. So, it's no bigger than Magikarp and Wailord, and I know Magikarp and Wailord is another free prize Pokemon, but firstly, it's a basic, not a stage 1, and secondly, the other VMAX we've seen are bigger than Magikarp and Wailord. So it is low in that regard. The weakness to fighting, as I said before, is kind of awkward, and a retreat cost of 2, as I said before, is kind of annoying. Now, there is one attack here, 4 colourless energy, 200 damage, draw 3 cards. And I don't know how much I love this. And there's a few things I don't like. Now, drawing 3 cards, I like. Just out of the bat, drawing 3 cards is good. Now, there are Pokemon that can draw 3 cards. Admittedly, it's not unheard of that a Pokemon would have an attack drawing 3 cards. I mean, to give you some examples, I could tell you about the Glysaur from Unbroken Bonds that lets you draw 3 cards, or the Meowth from Unbroken Bonds that lets you draw 3 cards, or the Espeon from Lost Thunder that lets you draw 3 cards. But what do those Pokemon all have in common? They don't do any damage. Espeon does no damage. Meowth does no damage. Glysaur does no damage. And actually, Meowth goes asleep. This does 200 damage while drawing 3 cards. So the drawing 3 cards, we are good, we are happy, that is nice. But the 4 energy's awkward. Now, I told you when we looked at Snorlax VMAX, as far as I'm concerned, triple acceleration energy will work. Now, I have asked a couple of Pokemon professors this question, and essentially what they've said, and I think this has to be the answer, it looks like it works until we're told otherwise. Now, triple acceleration energy specifically says it works only on evolution Pokemon, but VMAX Pokemon say evolves from so-and-so V. Snorlax VMAX evolves from Snorlax V. Meowth VMAX evolves from Meowth V. So they're evolution Pokemon. I see no reason why it wouldn't work. But the problem is that doesn't pay the attack cost. It's kind of annoying. You're not doing enough. So you need to add a 4th energy on here. Now, you can use any energy you like, so Welder will work and Malamar will work. We talked about all this earlier. But you need more. You cannot just Welder an attachment for the turn. That's not enough. You cannot just triple acceleration energy. That's not enough. And that's why I've got reservations. Now, if we look at the other Pokemon VMAX, 200 damage is alright. Lapras for 4 energy does 210, but they've all got to be water energy, and you don't get to draw 3 cards. Snorlax VMAX does attack for 3 energy, meaning it can just use triple acceleration energy, and that will do 210 damage if you've got a full bench. Whereas this just does 200 and lets you draw 3 cards. In the context of Tag Team GX's, 4 energy 200 isn't good enough. Reshiram and Charizard does 230 for 4 energy, as an example. Pikachu and Zekrom does 150 for 3 energy, but also accelerates 3 energy from your deck while you do so. But the thing is, if we look at these gigantic Pokemon VMAX, they're clearly not going for one-hit KOs. One-hit KOs is not what they're aiming for, at least not on each other. And they're not being one-hit KO'd by other stuff. We're getting to the stage of ridiculous HP now, where they shouldn't be one-hit KO'd. Although one giant reservation about Meowth VMAX, we've seen Mewtwo and Mewdex are using the Family Charizard, the one from Hidden Fates, to do 300 damage very early, as early as turn 2 going first, and 300 damage actually will get a KO, which is one of my other reservations here. But in a world where we're 2-hit KOing while drawing 3 cards doesn't seem like a bad position to be in. That seems like the kind of thing that will work out rather nicely for you. I just worry that the lower HP than the other VMAX does put you into territory where you can be KO'd by other stuff. I mean, Charizard and Reshiram, or Reshiram and Charizard's GX attack, okay, it's for 6 energy, but it does do 300. So again, that's something that won't KO the other VMAX Pokemon, but will KO you. If we're having a 2-hit KO slugfest between the VMAXs, I like Snorlax because it's a single energy, but drawing 3 cards is pretty good. So let's say between 3 and 4 Wassies. There's a lot to like about this, but if it had 20 more HP and attacked for 1 energy less, I would be all over it. As it is, just those little tweaks make me a little bit worried that it might just end up being another one of these promos that is almost good enough, but not quite. Did I say we don't give half Wassies because that would be barbaric? I might have forgotten, but we don't. So there we go. Do you think I'm right about this? Do you think I'm wrong about this? Do you think Meowth VMAX is better than I think it is? Or do you think it's slightly underwhelming when compared to stuff like Snorlax, as I tend to? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Go nuts in the comment section, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.